Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a simple question. How much money would you spend on a gaming headset? Is it $50? £100? $200? How about £600 or $600? Because in this box is indeed that headset. It's brand new from Steelseries. This is the Arctis Elite. And I've got to be honest that on paper at least, I'm kind of torn about this because on one hand, I am a massive gamer. I absolutely love audio. I am a self-confessed audiophile. I pay extra money for high-end music services. I had Apple Music, Tidal, things like that. But at the same time, I am definitely someone that loves the convenience of having a wireless headset. I like, well, being very British, to be able to make myself a cup of tea, like in between games of Apex, Fortnite, Warzone, anything like that really. So the whole point of this is it basically aims to be the absolute best of the best. So we're talking like the highest quality drivers, the best and latest audio codec, so we can get proper high-res audio over both 2.4 gigahertz and Bluetooth, which is amazing, but could it possibly be worth anything close to £600 or $600? That's what we're going to explore in this video, so let's get a move on and see if this thing is any good, after a short word from this video sponsor. MSI winter deals are here, letting you save big on huge upgrades for your gaming setup. There are discounts on monitors, both OLED and high refresh, as well as deals on graphics cards, components, and gaming gear. But hurry, these deals end soon, so bag yourself a bargain whilst you can with the link down below. Rightio then everyone, and welcome back. And I think the best place to kickstart this is going to be to just get this out of the box. So Steelseries carbon fiber speaker drivers, that's one of the main things that makes this a little bit more premium. It's an in-house design, which is pretty cool as well. It's said to be more robust, so it can actually get some lower frequencies and it can just be more accurate essentially. But it comes in a few different colors, but this is kind of like a more lifestyle-y color. So one of the whole ideas with this is it's not just supposed to be a gaming headset. In theory, this is a pair of headphones, it's a microphone, it's everything that you need, and you can use this out and about. That's kind of why this color and this design exists really, because if you're spotted on the train wearing this, you're not going to look like a huge nerd. You're just going to look like someone that has a really nice, high-quality pair of headphones. But again, if you want something more normal, then you can just go for the black version, essentially. And it definitely feels quite nice, but surprisingly, it's not that heavy, which traditionally you think heavy stuff is high quality, but obviously you want it to still be really light, or it's just going to strain your head and be uncomfortable. Definitely quite premium feeling. Nice metal here. These are magnetic. One houses the USB charging facility, and the other, quite cleverly, and this is something Steelseries has been doing for ages, will cover the battery. And you get two of these, so the idea is that you're using one when you're actually using the headset, and then the other one is sitting in the charge bay, so when you get low, in between a game, just obviously pop this out, quickly put it back in, and you're back gaming. Having said that though, are these a little bit weak? You've got two magnets on them, and they sit like that, twist them round, and then that's not falling off, I suppose. But yeah, do be aware that if you do touch it, it can come off. So maybe if you're quickly chucking this in a bag, be aware that this actually might happen a couple of times, which would be a little bit annoying. Maybe put an extra magnet in it next time. In terms of comfort, obviously you want something that is going to be lightweight, something that will be able to sit on your head for long gaming sessions, or as I say, on the train or on the plane or whatever. And yeah, I've got to say it does feel very lightweight actually, which is nice. And as a glasses wearer as well, you can find that headphones definitely can be a little bit more uncomfortable. They can kind of pinch in the wrong places. Perhaps feeling it a little bit here, but compared to most gaming headsets I've tested, actually feels pretty good. How it will be after a 2.5-hour flight or gaming session is something we'll have to test, but yeah, I'd say that's quite nice. I like the fact as well that it has this like ribbon here, so it kind of self-adjusts a little bit to your head, but you can adjust this as well if you want. You can also adjust the headset just by pulling on the ear cups. It's quite a nice motion actually. It doesn't have one of those like plastic clicky noises. That's not a problem, but obviously you'll find on cheaper headsets. And then in terms of buttons and things, you've got your power button, and this will also cycle through the different modes, so like ANC or ANC off. Toggle the microphone on and off with the little mute button. You've got this little ratcheting volume wheel, which is nice. And then you also have your Bluetooth connection here as well. So all in all, I've got to say, feels great, feels lightweight. It is just, that's a little bit annoying because, I mean, that took some effort to get off, but you get the point. But of course, as you would expect from your £600 or dollar gaming headset, that's not all you get inside the box. The main accessory, if you like, is difficult to get out of the box, but it's this. It's an external DAC. So this is what's going to connect to your PC, to your console, to your phone potentially. Actually, maybe it's not going to connect to your phone. Your phone should connect straight to the headset, but all of your wired devices you can see will connect here at the back. So you've got 2 USBs, and then you have your third one that is going to support Xboxes as well. You've got line in and line out, and you can mix these different sources together, and you can send them potentially to the headset at the same time. Depends on the exact source that you're using, but generally speaking, I don't know if you want to like play a game and then you maybe get a phone call, it should be able to automatically swap so you can get your phone audio that comes straight into your gaming headset without you having to stop gaming, which is quite cool. You can see where the battery connects, you put the spare one inside here, but the whole idea is that obviously you're mixing the different sources together, and then as I say, it's just like a flexible thing you can just customize with a single button without having to go and change all the different settings in all of the different devices. Right then, that is your overview of everything I think you need to know about the headset and how it works. Let's get to the bit that actually matters the most, which is the performance. Is this possibly close to worth the asking price? Well, the best way to test this, we've got a few different headsets. We've got, I guess, the one that Editor Carl uses whenever he comes here. This is from ROG. This is the Delta S Wireless. It's a decent headset, but it's not on the same level of this, at least in theory. We obviously have the Arctis Elite itself, or the Nova Elite, and then we have this contraption, and this looks pretty ugly, but this is what I actually use. This, as you can probably tell from all of the wear, is what I've been using for years. So this is a very high-end Shure open back headset. Well, I say headset, it's actually an open back pair of headphones that I've kind of turned into a headset by using a mod mic USB that just attaches like this. So in theory, this is going to be the highest quality way of getting great audio quality and mic quality at the same time. Now, obviously the limitation is that it is wired, but I have also got, I don't think they sell this particular one anymore, an Audio Quest Dragonfly that is completely bent where I walked into it once, which is really sad, but it still works. So this, all in all, probably costs around about £650 or so. So it's not for the faint of heart, especially bear in mind that obviously you can't go into the kitchen to make yourself a cup of tea, but it is what I have used for years now. There it is. Do I look smart? As good looking as always? But then my first question is, does it actually automatically choose the higher quality audio within system settings? No, it doesn't. So you want to set this to the highest, which is 9600. Do make sure that you go into the settings regardless of platform and then find where it says streaming quality and change this to the highest quality setting. So here we're going for lossless. It's giving us a warning about more data, but I think for most of us that's going to be absolutely fine. And then I'm going to start listening to my test track. You won't be hearing this, you'll be hearing some lovely royalty-free music. First impression is pretty good. Definitely sounds like a proper pair of headphones rather than a headset, and it sounds quite open, which you don't always get from like a closed back headset. I mean, it should be for 600 quid. It's just really well balanced. I know that this obviously has like the default flat EQ and you can customize this how you want it to, but it does seem like the drivers are really capable. Let's move over to the headphones next though. It's a very different sound. This is a lot flatter, and obviously because it's open back, it does feel a little bit more open. That sounds cliche, but it's true. But again, it's very, very close. They more just sound different rather than one specifically better than the other, which isn't what I expected. I honestly thought this would be leagues ahead. See, but this track definitely sounds better on these. And this is the thing that's going to be really annoying if you do get into audio, regardless of whether it's the headset or high-end speakers, it doesn't matter. You'll start to find that you get to the limits of different tracks, and anything that's mastered really well will sound so much better on a really high-end setup, whereas something that's arguably a little bit more mainstream, often you'll find that it just kind of hits a little bit of a brick wall, and it's quite annoying. Yeah, it's definitely the same. It's just whenever you get bits that are a little bit more delicate, you can definitely pick up a bit more detail, I'd say. It's interesting, it's just when you've got fine bits of detail, I'd say you can definitely pick them up more with the open back solution. You obviously have your pros and the cons. I would say that actually for most people sort of going between the two, you're not going to notice like a massive difference. I imagine it's going to be more or less identical when it comes to gaming, which obviously is the main point really of this. But if you're someone that is really into your music and you're kind of looking to maybe bridge the gap or just have like a one-size-fits-all solution, then I'd say that this is more than good enough. But if you are specifically after the absolute best, highest quality, I keep saying headset, headphones, anything really for music, then as you'd expect, the crown still kind of lies with headphones. But as I say, it's a lot closer than I would expect. But let's see how it compares to a much cheaper headset. All right, here we go. This one feels a lot lighter. Awful. That's mad. I'm sure there's some EQ and stuff we can do on that. I mean, you compare the two, they're night and day. This sounds like trash in comparison, really. This sounds like a headset. This sounds like a pair of headphones. It's just so muddy in comparison. There's almost like a little bit of echo to the sound as well. I mean, it's very light. I'd say that this one is arguably going to be a little bit more comfortable over long gaming sessions, but this is clearly not designed for music listening, really. Or maybe it is, but it's just limited by the price of materials. So here's a quick look at the PC software. Again, reminder, you can use the application that comes on a smartphone. So if you're using this on a PlayStation console or you just don't want to touch this, then that's absolutely fine as well. You've got a few different settings and things here that you can change, actually quite a lot. Don't forget you've got the profiles as well. So here we've got the set to Battlefield 6 for the game that we're going to be playing in just a second, but there are quite a lot of them. Don't know why the Battlefield one was flat. Let's reload that. And you can also have different profiles as well for the Bluetooth and for the 2.4 gig wireless. Here we've got our mixer, so we've got complete control over all of the different sources. And then yes, here's the setting that I'm looking for, spatial audio. This is what I want. Essentially our virtual surround sound. And it is probably worth having a go with Dolby Atmos, because you get a free trial for 7 days through the software, and you might find that the just native in-game support just kind of works better with that. But let's try with our sonar, and then let's get into a game. But right, everyone, I think the time for talk is well and truly over. Let's get into the bit that matters arguably the most, which of course is the gaming performance. And I've got to say, actually, again, very, very impressed here. There definitely is a fair bit of fiddling you're going to have to do to get the headset to sound its absolute best. There are so many modes. As I say, you've got that sonar, but also make sure within the game itself you're either using a 3D audio setting or just that you're using surround sound, because otherwise all the information isn't necessarily going to come through to the headset itself. So I would say that as soon as you do enable sonar and the virtual surround sound, it definitely does open up the sound stage a little bit. Does it sound as good as like a proper, you know, like 7.1 cinema setup? No, it's not got the same directionality. But even compared to headsets from only a few years ago, it's definitely a big step up, and the technology really can work and just helps to essentially open up that sound stage. I wouldn't necessarily believe the marketing that, you know, you're going to be able to hear the exact footstep when you really need to, but it's certainly not going to be a bad thing, and it's great that you can obviously just toggle it on and off at a moment's notice within the software. So I would go as far to say that this is one of, if not the best gaming headsets I've ever tested, really. I mean, the only thing that I was like getting a little bit annoyed by is that compared to the open back, wow, I can hear myself again, compared to the open back headphones, you definitely notice your ears are getting a lot hotter in this. It's not a problem at the time of filming because it's currently the winter, but if you were sitting in like a really hot room, I don't know, in Nevada or something, then you'll notice that these obviously will start to get sweaty and will get a fair bit of heat build up, but most headsets and headphones are closed back anyway, so it's not really a huge criticism. So yeah, in terms of audio quality for both music and gaming, very, very impressive. It kind of looks understated, but the performance of this, it's more about what's under the hood, is very, very good. I'll also add as well that in terms of like a noise floor for like static, because obviously it's a wireless headset, if you've ever used one before, you've probably heard that kind of like slight fizz that you get in the background at all times. It's something you get used to, but obviously it's just a limitation of wireless. I'm not getting that with this, and I've tried to force it through by playing music very, very, very quietly, but otherwise have everything turned up, and I'm not getting it. So I'm really pleased to say that on the 2.4 gigahertz, that's been cleared up to essentially nothing, which is awesome. But obviously the final piece of the puzzle with the gaming headset is actually the microphone quality. Is this going to hold up versus the competition? And our first microphone is going to be the Nova Elite. Now, remember I said this comes with a pop filter. What you might find is that if you're moving around a lot, it does start to pick up a little bit of wind noise, but you can use the AI noise cancellation that does come with the microphone. So let's turn this on now. I mean, you tell me, you can be the test. Does this completely ruin the microphone quality? But then obviously the ability is that you now get some extra noise cancellation. So you shouldn't be able to hear this anywhere near as much coming through. You be the judge. Obviously, this doesn't have the AI noise cancellation, but there's various bits of software you can use to do this yourself, most notably like NVIDIA Broadcast. There's so many though, and Discord actually has one baked straight in as well. So I wouldn't say that this is necessarily like a cutting edge feature, but yes, here is your test of the mod mic. I always think this sounds pretty good. It's not going to be as good as that, but I've never had anyone complain about it. Oh, but then finally, let's move on to the final mic, which is the Elgato, which always sounds weird in English. Elgato Wave, and this is a microphone that is obviously a lot bigger and is going to be a lot higher quality, but does come with some compromises, which is obviously if you touch the desk, that's going to carry through to the microphone. If you don't have any AI noise cancellation, this is arguably going to pick the most stuff up, but most notably that if you kind of move away from the microphone, obviously the audio starts to drop off quite a lot, whereas if you have something right next to your face, then that's going to be more consistent. But clearly in terms of quality, this is going to be the best, and if you're going to use this for work as well, any sort of recordings, is going to be infinitely better. But once again, you can't go to the kitchen and make yourself a cup of tea with this. Jokes aside, this is a very, very expensive bit of kit, and I'm not going to suggest for any second that your next upgrade for your gaming setup should be a gaming headset that costs £600. I don't want to say it's ludicrous. They're clearly putting something out there and seeing if it sticks, but the way they've done it is pretty exceptional, to be honest, because the audio quality on this is so good, and it was so close to something it arguably has no real right to get close to, but I'm glad that they have. You've got loads of features baked into this. I like the fact that you can use the app or the PC software to set all of your EQs. You've got all of those different gaming options. You can create your own. Clearly, there are going to be much cheaper solutions, much cheaper headsets out there, but there's no doubt about it that this is the best one I've tested. In terms of audio quality for both music and gaming, it was exceptional, and this truly is the best gaming headset I think I've ever tested. But what I would actually recommend to most people, rather than putting all of your money into this, is that if you don't already have a really great sound solution, so like a decent soundbar potentially, or even better, a proper pair of speakers and then paired with like an amplifier and a DAC, if you want to go down the audiophile route, personally, I think that's going to be a much better investment because that is going to last for a much longer period of time. I'm not saying that this isn't built well, but realistically, something like this, especially if you do take it everywhere you go and heavily use it, it's clearly not going to last as long as a proper pair of speakers. The ones I've got over there are 10 years old now. I have absolutely no reason to replace those whatsoever. Do think about it carefully, but if you've got a lot of money to spend and you do want the absolute best audio solution out there, then this probably is it. But it's certainly not one to recommend to everyone. It's only ready for people with very deep pockets. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful, has been useful. Any questions, let me know down in the comment section below. And of course, as always, if you do want to check out current pricing on this, because it's not going to be £600 or dollars forever, you can find that listed down below with our affiliate links. And while you're down there, why not back yourself a bargain with MSI's winter deals? There are huge discounts available on the latest cutting edge tech, including QD OLED monitors, NVIDIA RTX graphics cards, and mighty MSI motherboards. But be quick, because these deals are ending soon, so learn more and save big today with the link down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.